Stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about food forever. Did you know that in 1975, families were eating meals that cost under 50 cents but tasted better than $50 restaurant dishes today? These were unjust, cheap meals. They were culinary masterpieces that have been deliberately hidden from you by the modern food industry. I've spent months researching Grandma's secret recipes from the 1970s, and what I discovered will blow your mind. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why these incredible meals vanished and how to bring them back to your table. Trust me, recipe number 27 will make you question everything you know about cooking. The main explosive content. Picture this shocking scenario. It's 1975. Inflation is crushing American families. Money is tighter than ever. But somehow, every single dinner table is loaded with meals that would make Gordon Ramsay weep with joy. How is this possible? How did our grandparents create culinary magic with pocket change while we re-spending $1.30 on takeout that tastes like cardboard? The answer will make you angry at what's been stolen from us. The golden age of budget cooking. Let me take you back to a time when cooking wasn't about expensive ingredients or fancy equipment. It was about pure creativity, resourcefulness, and flavor combinations that modern chefs are desperately trying to recreate. These weren't survival meals. They were celebration feasts disguised as budget cooking. 1. Stuffed green peppers. The 50 cents miracle, here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. While today's restaurants charge $18 for stuffed peppers, families in 1975 made them for less than 50 cents per person. But here's the secret they do want you to know. The rice wasn't just filler. It was the flavor absorption system. Garden fresh green peppers were practically free in summer. The magic happened when you combined seasoned rice with just a whisper of ground beef, tomato sauce, and onions. But the real genius? As these peppers baked slowly, they became sweet, tender vessels holding this incredibly flavorful mixture. The rice absorbed every single flavor note, creating this symphony of taste that made kids actually fight over vegetables. Some families added shredded cheese on top, but even without it, the combination of sweet pepper, hearty rice, and tangy tomato created satisfaction levels that today's expensive meals can't touch. This wasn't just dinner. It was edible love on a plate. 2. Sloppy Joes. The flavor bomb revolution. Forget everything you think you know about Sloppy Joes. The 1970s version was a completely different beast. This wasn't the bland, processed mess you might remember from school cafeterias. These were legitimate flavor explosions that could feed 8 people from 1 pound of ground beef. The secret weapon: brown sugar mixed with ketchup, mustard, and a carefully balanced blend of seasonings created this addictive sweet-savory sauce that was pure genius. But here's what made it revolutionary: serving it on homemade buns that cost literal pennies to make from flour, yeast, and water. The sauce soaked into the bread just enough to make each bite juicy without falling apart. Many families stretched it further by adding diced peppers, carrots, or whatever vegetables were on hand. This was comfort food engineering at its finest, making every ingredient count while delivering maximum satisfaction. 3. Zucchini fritters, summer's golden secret. This recipe alone will change how you think about vegetables forever. When backyard gardens exploded with zucchini, smart cooks transformed them into crispy, restaurant-quality appetizers that even vegetable-hating kids devoured. The technique was pure brilliance. Grated zucchini mixed with just enough flour and egg, then fried until golden with crispy edges and soft, tender centers. The texture contrast was incredible, feeling indulgent. Despite being made from humble ingredients, served with cool sour cream, these fritters provided the perfect tangy richness that balanced the mild zucchini flavor. Families served them hot from the skillet to the table, and the aroma alone had everyone gathering in the kitchen. This was proof that with creativity, surplus garden vegetables could become the star of the meal. 4. One-pan macaroni beef skillet. The 30-minute miracle revolutionary cooking technique alert. Forget everything you know about making pasta dishes. The 1970s method was pure genius. Elbow macaroni cooked directly in tomato-based sauce with browned ground beef and onions, all in one pan. This wasn't just about saving dishes, though busy families loved that. The pasta absorbed every single bit of flavor from the sauce and beef, creating richness and depth that separate cooking methods simply cannot achieve. The result was incredibly hearty and satisfying without needing much meat. A sprinkle of cheese on top was a treat, but even without it, this dish delivered comfort food satisfaction that modern expensive pasta dishes struggled to match. Ready in under 30 minutes, easily doubled for crowds, and perfect for next-day lunches. This was practical perfection. 5. Cabbage roll casserole tradition meets innovation. Here's where traditional cooking met modern efficiency. Instead of the tedious process of rolling individual cabbage leaves, this genius shortcut layered chopped cabbage with seasoned rice, tomato sauce, and ground beef in a casserole dish. The magic happened during the slow baking process. Flavors melted together beautifully while the cabbage softened into sweet, tender perfection. The rice and cabbage provided most of the volume, allowing small amounts of meat to feed entire families. Leftovers were even better the next day. Every family had their own twist: paprika, garlic, fresh herbs from the garden, proving that creativity could transform simple pantry ingredients into comfort food that wrapped you in warmth after long days. 6. Baked bean and hot dog bake. The crowd pleaser. This combination sounds simple, but the flavor chemistry was absolutely genius. Large cans of baked beans paired with sliced hot dogs created perfect sweet and salty balance that made both kids and adults come back for seconds and thirds. The natural sweetness of beans balanced perfectly with the salty smokiness of hot dogs. Sometimes breadcrumbs or cheese were added for extra richness, but the basic version was already incredibly satisfying. This was potluck gold, inexpensive, filling, and guaranteed to disappear within minutes. The versatility was amazing. Some cooks added chopped onions, peppers, or mustard for extra temps, while others kept it simple for picky eaters. Served with cornbread or crisp salad, it became a complete meal that embodied the thrifty yet crowd-pleasing spirit of the era. 7. Cornbread and pinto beans. Southern perfection. This wasn't just a meal. It was a masterclass in flavor harmony. Pinto beans simmered slowly with onions, salt, and just a scrap of ham or bacon created this protein-rich, savory base with incredible depth of flavor. The cornbread brought sweetness and crumbly texture that made every bite absolutely satisfying. Cooking the beans low and slow allowed them to develop complexity that paired beautifully with the slightly crisp edges of skillet-baked cornbread, feeding a family for literal pennies while offering leftovers that were just as good. Reheated, this was the ultimate comfort meal for cold evenings. Butter melting into hot cornbread next to steaming beans was humble pleasure that carried generations of tradition. 8. Shepherd's pie. The leftover transformer. This was leftover magic at its finest. Any remaining roast beef, ground beef, or chicken combined with gravy and vegetables, layered in a baking dish and topped with creamy mashed potatoes. Baking until the top turned golden brown created satisfying texture contrast. Crispy top, creamy middle, flavorful bottom. This was waste prevention turned into Sunday dinner elegance. Because the recipe was so flexible, no two versions were exactly alike, yet all delivered familiar warmth and comfort. The smell in the oven had everyone gathering in the kitchen before it was ready. This proved that even modest leftovers could be transformed into meals that felt rich and memorable. 9. Vegetable chow mein. Exotic on a budget when international flavors were just entering mainstream kitchens. Vegetable chow mein offered affordable exotic taste. Simple sauce made from soy sauce and cornstarch-coated stir-fried vegetables served over crispy noodles. The texture combination was brilliant. Soft vegetables contrasted with crunchy noodles, appealing to both kids and adults. As a meatless option that still felt substantial, it was perfect for families cutting grocery costs. The adaptability meant any pantry vegetables could be used, keeping costs low and waste minimal. 10. Split pea soup with ham bone. Liquid gold, this recipe will make you never throw away ham bones again. Leftover ham bones simmered slowly with split peas, onions, carrots, and celery until peas broke down into velvety texture, while bone marrow infused incredible smoky richness. This was slow cooking perfection, simmering all afternoon, filling homes with comforting aromas that promised warmth and satisfaction. Feeding families for pennies per bowl, it was ideal for cold winter days. Leftovers thickened overnight, making next day servings even richer. Served with buttered bread or cornbread for dipping, this completed meals without adding much cost. Pure resourcefulness turned kitchen scraps into soulful comfort. 11. Chicken and rice cream soup casserole. Set and forget magic, revolutionary hands-off cooking. Raw rice combined with cream of mushroom soup, water, and seasonings in a baking dish, topped with chicken pieces and baked until tender. The rice absorbed all creamy, savory flavors while the chicken cooked to perfection. Single casserole dish meant minimal cleanup. Busy families loved this convenience. Affordability made it reliable for tight budgets. Variations included vegetables like peas or carrots mixed directly into rice for complete one-pan dinners. Whether served at kitchen tables or brought to potlucks, this was dependable. Filling comfort food that proved good food didn't need complexity. 12. Frittata with leftover vegetables, waste-free genius. This was resourcefulness turned into culinary art. Eggs whisked and poured over leftover vegetables. Anything from roasted potatoes to zucchini, spinach, or peppers. Cooked gently until set, sometimes finished under broiler for golden tops. Cheese, herbs, or small amounts of meat could be added, but the heart came from maximizing what was already available. Quick preparation made them perfect for any meal, served hot or room temperature. Adaptability meant no two were identical, yet all delivered satisfying flavor and nourishment. This showed how resourcefulness could create dishes that felt fresh and intentional rather than thrown together. 13. Cabbage and noodle stir-fry haluski. Eastern European comfort. Wide egg noodles tossed with cabbage and onions, cooked in butter until tender and caramelized. The sweetness of cabbage balanced savory butter richness, creating dishes greater than the sum of parts. Served alone for meatless dinners or as hearty sides with sausages. This was especially popular during colder months when cabbage was inexpensive and easy to store. Simple ingredients delivered deeply satisfying flavors that kept it in regular rotation. Some added bacon or kielbasa for extra richness, others kept it vegetarian. Either way, it offered warmth, familiarity, and comfort, proving simple, affordable cooking could be full of heart and tradition. 14. Corn pudding casserole, sweet and savory harmony. Canned corn, eggs, milk, sugar, and flour baked into soft, custard-like textures with golden tops. Corn sweetness, balanced by egg and milk richness, created comforting, almost dessert-like flavors. Often served at holidays and potlucks, but equally welcome on ordinary weeknights. Inexpensive preparation relied on pantry staples, easily scaled for large crowds. Leftovers reheated beautifully, retaining creamy textures. Versatile enough to pair with meats, vegetables, or beans. Nostalgic recipes passed down through generations, each family adding unique seasoning or sweetness twists. 15. Ground beef and potato hash texture. Perfection, diced potatoes fried until golden and crisp, combined with browned ground beef, onions, and seasonings. Multiple textures, crispy potato edges, tender beef bits, sweet caramelized onions. Endlessly adaptable with vegetables like bell peppers or corn for extra flavor and bulk. Natural choice for any meal, easily made in large batches. Hash made every ingredient count, turning basic staples into satisfying, filling meals. Quick preparation made it weeknight favorites. Served alone or topped with fried eggs, this was no-frills comfort food that felt like rewards after long days. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The quick 1-minute. Miracles. 16. Fried bologna sandwiches. The underestimated classic. Don't laugh until you try this. Bologna sliced and tossed in hot pans until edges curled. Served on soft bread with mustard. Simple, quick, surprisingly satisfying. When money was tight or groceries low, this appeared on tables everywhere. Salty, smoky, bologna crisped, just enough to feel like real cooking. Kids loved it. Adults relied on it. Some added cheese or toasted bread, but classic stayed simple and practical. Found in handwritten cookbooks passed through generations. Quick forgotten gems from times when meals had to be fast, filling, affordable. 17. Egg salad on toast. The protein powerhouse. Leftover boiled eggs, chopped with mayonnaise. Maybe mustard, piled onto toast. Plain but effective. Eggs were filling. Toast made it portable, could be prepared instantly. Not about fancy ingredients or gourmet flavors. People relied on this when money was tight, time short, families still needed eating. Seen at church luncheons, quick weekday dinners, scribbled on worn recipe cards. 18. Cheese Dreams broiled perfection. Bread slices topped with American cheese, broiled until bubbly and brown. Sometimes tomato slices or bacon strips added, but most kept it simple. Appeared in every cookbook as lifesavers for hungry kids, rushed workdays, weekends when grocery shopping hadn't happened. Made most of cheap pantry basics while feeling warm and filling. Cheese bubbled golden and gooey. Bread edges crisped perfectly. Lunch completed before table setting finished. Families loved it. Tasted good, cost nothing, required zero effort. 19. Tomato soup with cracker crumble. Pantry stretching canned tomato soup heated, saltines crushed over top. Basic but satisfying. Saltines absorbed soup, adding crunch and thickness for filling results. Parents loved it. Cost almost nothing. Ready in 10 minutes. Kids loved it. Warm, salty, familiar. Could be dressed up with cheese or pepper, but families kept it plain and simple. Found after school, chilly weather, nights when time ran short. Fast. Affordable, quietly forgotten like many recipes tucked in cookbook back pages. 20. Hot dog and baked bean skillet, minus quirky comfort. Sliced hot dogs tossed in skillets with canned baked beans. Dinner done. Sounds ridiculous now, but when money was tight, this was quickest comfort food. Beans were filling. Hot dogs provided protein, could stretch one can for whole families. Most kept it plain, though some added mustard or onions. Appeared after long workdays when too tired for complicated recipes, but still needed table food. Bubbled on stoves, filling kitchens with warm, smoky smells, meaning dinner was ready. 21. Sardine and onion sandwiches. Bold and briny canned sardines, layered on bread with thin, raw onion slices. Done in minutes, packing more flavor than most could handle. Depression-era staples that continued because sardines were cheap. Lasted forever, provided salty, filling meals with minimal prep. Some added mustard or lettuce, most kept it plain and sharp. Onions gave crunch and heat. Sardines brought salt and oil. Together created lunches that stuck with you whether liked or not. The shocking truth they don't want you to know. Here's what will make you absolutely furious. These incredible recipes didn't disappear by accident. They were systematically buried by the processed food industry that realized they could unprofit from meals that cost pennies and tasted incredible. Think about it logically. Why would corporations want you to know that a 50-cent homemade meal could taste better than their $1.15 frozen dinner? Why would restaurant chains want you making 75-cent pizza that's more delicious than their $25 delivery option? The conspiracy of convenience. The food industry spent billions convincing you that cooking was too hard, too time-consuming, too complicated. They needed you to depend on their expensive processed products. They couldn't allow knowledge of simple, delicious, budget-friendly cooking to survive. Look at what they replaced these masterpieces with: frozen dinners filled with preservatives and sodium fast food that costs 10x more and tastes like cardboard restaurant meals with massive markups and tiny portions. Processed ingredients that kill both flavor and nutrition, the lost wisdom. These were unjust recipes. They were accumulated wisdom from generations who understood that great food comes from technique, creativity, and love, not expensive ingredients. They knew secrets modern chefs pay thousands to learn in culinary school. Every dish told stories of resourcefulness, resilience, and incredible ability to turn simple ingredients into pure comfort. They understood flavor combinations, cooking techniques, and ingredient stretching that today's cooks have completely forgotten. The nutritional revelation. Here's another shocking truth. These cheap 1970s meals were actually more nutritious than most expensive dishes today. Made with real ingredients, cooked with care, they provided complete nutrition without artificial additives, preservatives, or chemicals. Compare split pea soup with ham bone to today's canned soups loaded with sodium and preservatives. Compare homemade pizza with fresh ingredients to processed frozen versions. Compare shepherd's pie made from real leftovers to microwaved meals full of chemicals. The difference is staggering, both in nutrition and flavor. Why these recipes were superior? Real ingredients, no artificial anything, just pure. Simple components, flavor development, slow cooking, and proper techniques built incredible taste. Nutrition balance, complete meals that satisfied both hunger and nutritional needs. Cost effectiveness, maximum flavor and nutrition for minimal cost. Adaptability, could be modified based on available ingredients. Satisfaction factor, left you feeling truly satisfied. Not craving more. Community building, brought families together around shared meals. Skill development, taught real cooking techniques and creativity. Today's families spend more money on food than ever before while eating lower quality, less satisfying meals. We've been conditioned to believe that good food requires expensive ingredients, special equipment, or professional training. The truth is exactly the opposite. The best meals in human history were made by regular people using simple ingredients, basic techniques, and creative problem solving. They understood that cooking was about love, care, and making the most of what you had. Ready to reclaim this lost knowledge? Start with just one recipe this week. I guarantee it will taste better than anything you can buy, cost a fraction of takeout, and create that same warm, satisfied feeling our grandparents knew so well. Begin with something simple, like the one-pan macaroni beef skillet or stuffed green peppers. Experience how real ingredients and proper techniques create flavors that expensive restaurants struggle to match. Don't let this culinary wisdom die with our generation. These recipes represent freedom from expensive, processed, unsatisfying food. They're your ticket back to meals that nourish both body and soul while saving serious money. Share this knowledge. Teach your family these techniques. Prove to yourself that incredible meals don't require incredible budgets. They require knowledge, creativity, and willingness to cook with love. Every time you make one of these recipes, instead of ordering takeout, you not just saving money. You reclaiming lost culinary heritage and giving your family the gift of real food. The most incredible part: these recipes are just the beginning. Once you understand the principles behind them, ingredient stretching, flavor building, creative substitution, proper technique, you can create your own masterpieces from whatever ingredients you have available. This is true culinary freedom. Not dependence on expensive ingredients or processed products, but the confidence to create delicious, satisfying meals from simple components. This is the knowledge that built great home cooking traditions for centuries. What's your favorite forgotten recipe from the past? Have you tried any of these incredible 1970s masterpieces? Share your experiences in the comments below. If this opened your eyes to the incredible world of authentic budget cooking that the food industry does untaunt you to discover, Smash that like button and subscribe for more culinary secrets that will transform both your kitchen and your wallet. Remember, every meal you make using this knowledge is a victory against the processed food industry and a step toward true culinary independence. Let's bring these incredible flavors back where they belong, on our family tables.